All right. All right, so we are 5 seconds from finishing, I think, the all-time record, all-time fastest we done. It looks like we hit exactly 6 minutes. So let's look at the specifics so I can see what exactly we did. You know, I felt a little faster today. I felt a little lighter, and let's take a look. All right. So 6:01, that's the average pace. That's really the mile time. Oh, that was good. I don't feel weak. I didn't feel heavy. I think I lost a little bit of weight. I don't have that much to lose, because I'm right. But there's a little bit of flab, and I think with my running, I think the best gain is just to hone in on that diet precisely. I ended up tracking everything I ate from the middle of May to the middle of June. I have all the records. I haven't done a video on it because it's kind of time consuming. But I ended up eating a ton of cream in my coffee, 2 gallons worth in a month. And 2 gallons means 1 cup a day. So I said, it's clearly not making me fat, but we could lose a couple pounds there for running and everything else. So I cut it down to half a cup. That's really equal to about 3 coffees for me. So instead of just keep pouring myself more and more coffees, I just cut it off at 3 when the half a cup of cream goes out, right? And I also used to, go to the grocery store, buy some cheese. I think I had 7 pounds of cheese last, from mid-May to mid-June. And I'm like, I'll cut the cheese out. That's really it, I also had like a yogurty dessert I had all the time. I'm kind of cutting back on that too, because a lot of this dairy stuff is kind of fattening. I mean, it didn't make me gain weight, but it didn't make me lose weight either, right? So, all right. Once again, the notes for whether or not there. Now, let's look at the pace here. This is very new. So 128, 128. And I was always complaining that no matter what the time ended up to be, the hill was always 140. Like, it was very weird. Now, the hill was 133. Still noticeably slower than the previous 2, but still pretty good. And the hill's still there. Let's see. So, all right. So, 128, 128. Because when I heard those call, because every quarter of a mile, this speaker comes out and says, first lap complete, pace time or time 128. And I was like, I did those before. I think last time we did 130 something, lackluster. It was 128, 128, and I wasn't feeling too tired, right? And then I'm like, oh, here's the hill. But I was going, and I heard 133. I'm like, that's 7 seconds, So I think I gave it a little more at the beginning, and that's one of the reasons potentially why the last lap was actually kind of the slowest, even though there's no hill there. It's actually downhill. So for whatever reason, I did a lot more effort on, and I just feel better right now. I've had some sluggish runs, and this is probably the best I felt after a run. I don't think it's just because of the good time, because we did 6:03 last time, I think, or 2 weeks ago, or whatever the hell it was, and it was a lot hotter today. I mean, you can see I'm dripping, Again, it's about 91 last I checked. This sometimes puts it in there. It didn't put it in there in the notes, so who knows. But, so this is the first post-hurricane run, and we hit 6 minutes. We're as close to it as this can measure. Let's see your workouts this week. All right. They still haven't cleared a lot of the sidewalks of the hurricane debris. So it's kind of an obstacle course sometimes, especially at night. You know, you have to like crawl under trees. It's kind of fun, but you know. All right. Let's see. That's good. That's good. You know. So, because I also have been weighing myself since mid-June. Now, I have not been measuring what I'm eating. You know, I'm just intuitively saying, I think we can cut back on the cream. We'll go back to cheese when we feel like it. And the yogurty dessert thing, I'm not forcing myself to eat that every day. Not that I have to be, but it tastes really good. It was probably a little too much, you know. But apart from that, I measure it in 160, 162. Every Sunday before a run, I measured myself now in the last 6 weeks or so. And I was 156 and a half, you know. So, you know, and I try to do it around the same time. And then, you know, it's not about, oh, have I pooped yet? It's kind of at the same time, right? So I think it's fairly accurate week to week. And that's a pound, the 4, 5, 6 pound difference, you know. And because I looked at a website where it's like, oh, your predicted times if you lose this much weight. I'm like, well, given that I always had a couple pounds on me extra, and probably that, let's try to see what we can do with that, you know. Because I'm a skinny guy. I'm not going to have bulging muscles. You know, I went to the gym many years ago, and I could lift more, but you could never really tell. So, you know, you couldn't see it. So I think for a leaner, skinnier, fit guy like me, I think getting that body fat down so your muscles actually look bigger than they are, or they just look more, there's just less fat around it, right? And I don't want to be too weird about it. I didn't even mention it, right? Because again, I'm just like, okay, I'll drink half the cream I do. We can cut cheese for a while. It's not really that necessary, and we can cut, because my yogurty desserts, I might have to put that up. It's really good. You put some fruit on the bottom. I like raspberries and cherries, okay? You kind of thaw them out a little bit, okay? You put like some whiskey or rum or other kind of hard liquor. Just splash maybe a tablespoon or half a tablespoon worth, just to get the flavor in there. You don't want it soaking, right? Or Benedictine. I actually bought some many years ago, and I'm like, what does this taste like? By itself, it's kind of gross, but it's a bit too syrupy and sweet. But you know, it's full 40% alcohol, but it's really like a, you know, you can't really drink it by itself. It's not a shot kind of drink. So half of that, whiskey, rum, Benedictine. Brandy is good too if you have some. A vodka is just, it doesn't really mix too well. You don't really taste it. Okay, then you put like a high protein yogurt, like a Chobani Greek stuff, or that skyr, Icelandic skyr. Like the most high protein, high fat one you can find. I find that with the Chobani stuff, it's a bit tart, a bit lemony. So I also add a little bit of mascarpone in there, which is like fat. Yeah, and then you cover the rum. Oh, and you also put, before the yogurt, you put a small amount of honey on it. Small. Then you cover that in the yogurt or yogurt and mascarpone mixture. Okay. Then what you do is you put a little bit of honey on there, a little bit of cinnamon on the top of the yogurt, okay? You put a little bit of honey, and then you put another half a tablespoon of the hard liquor you put on there, the whiskey, brandy, rum, whatever. And that's it, and that's delicious. So I kind of quit that. I haven't had as much of that. I haven't had as much honey as a result, because that's really the only sugar I add to things is that yogurty thing. I don't put any sugar or honey in the coffee, for example. Haven't for a decade or so. But anyways, here we go. Right. See, I remember seeing 174 as my steps per minute as well. That's in the 170s. So, you know, workout details. Right. 6:00. Oh, that's it. That's what we're counting here. Average speed is almost 10 miles an hour. Wow. I mean, that's exactly, yeah. 9.9, whatever it is. I had to, is this still on? Yeah. I had to rinse the water, my sweat off of the thing here. What? It didn't look at elevation. Well, there was a hill in the middle of it. Now, max 207, that could be the highest. I don't have a rank for that here, but that could very well be the highest. Where's the elevation thing? Is that really not in here chart? No, it's in here somehow. So yeah, the hill did not really make us go as slow as it often does. And again, 552, 612, 603. Again, that last lap was surprisingly slower. You know, and I even said, oh, we got to run here. But I kind of, yeah. So that's good. Anyways, I think that's it for now. And yeah.